October 20th Board of Public Affairs meeting. First on the agenda will be to approve the minutes of the October 6th board meeting, regular meeting. Well, been presented with the copy of the minutes. See any corrections or additions or anything? Now I'll entertain a motion to accept.
I see no changes or corrections. I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes as presented.
This is Annette. I'll second it. Jim?
Yes.
Annette? Yes. Dick?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is a hearing of public concerns. Been a number provided for call-in. I'll hesitate here about 30 seconds, see if we have any calls. If not, we'll proceed and take those calls as they come in. Okay, next on the agenda will be the clerk treasurer's report. Laura?
The board's been presented with the clerk treasurer's report, month ending September 30th, 2020.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the clerk treasurer's report.
This is Karen. I'll make a motion that we approve the clerk treasurer's report.
I will second.
Okay.
Karen?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Annette? Yes.
All right, thank you. Next on the agenda will be a resolution. Could you please number and read, Lori?
Resolution number 37, 2020, authorizing the Bryan City Clerk Treasurer to issue change order number 1 and final for the project known as 2020 Street Improvements for Bryan North Industrial Park, connecting Bement Street and Paige Street, Bryan, Ohio.
Nate, would you like to address that?
Yeah, this was a joint project with the city. Council's previously acted on this. Basically, it's a change order. This is where we got our 12-inch water main looped in and a little bit of the lighting for the street lighting. And Brian Whelan has attended the meeting to basically go over some of it if he would like to respond.
Good evening, everyone. This was passed 2 weeks ago by City Council, and Nate and I talked. We're going to do years in lag with them. Basically, in summary, on the water end, you had a little bit of extra water line, 7 extra feet of 12-inch pipe, and then you deducted a water valve. So it was a net decrease of $850 on your share. Our side was a net decrease of about $1,200 just by balancing out quantities. When we do the bid plans, it's just an estimate, and the actual can kind of vary a little bit as thing goes on. But project's basically done. Street lighting's in, as Nate said. Things are really looking good out there. The grass seed's starting to fill in a few areas. If it doesn't by next spring, we'll cover it under warranty. Everything's really looking good. If you remember, this is an extension of Johnson Drive project, and we attained a large amount of grant funds on that. This project here, we had $200,000 from the TID grant through ODOT, and we're able to also capture $20,000 or $30,000 of additional grant funds we didn't use on the former Johnson Drive project. So we're in the process asking for our refunds on that right now. And hopefully in November, we'll be able to put the monies back in where they came from and pay us back for it. So like I said, for the most part, it's done. I'm working with Court. We're going to add trees this fall or next spring, depending on what he thinks is a good time to plant. We typically do that on all the city projects. I know you talked about trees at your last meeting a little bit, so I just wanted to address that as well. That there will be some street trees put in there, and we take care of that out of our capital budget like we do on all the other projects. So with that, I request you approve this change order, and I save you just a little bit of money on the project.
Bryan, this is Tom. Sure. Put you on the spot. Do we have a name for that street yet?
Not quite yet. On my desk here, I've got a right-of-way dedication plat that I'll kind of show you. I got it here.
All right.
Still working on a street name for that last chunk. I talked to city council about it before, and we were going to talk to Dave Swanson and see if he had any input on that. And he's given me a couple ideas, but he hasn't actually given me a final thought that I need to present to council. So we're working on it, but I don't actually have a name for that last chunk yet. But I think we will be by the end of the year, because I want to get the street right away dedicated. And we're completing a new boundary survey on the rest of the industrial park that's up there, because obviously we took a couple acres out of it for street right away. So we're going to get that done and adjusted down accordingly, so we know exactly what we have available for sale out there. And side note, it seems like every week we have another new contact that we're trying to work on. Is like as a potential sale for that property up there. So we're really being marketed quite well. Sooner or later, we're going to land somebody good.
Now that you brought it up, Tom, Sprow Avenue's got a ring to it.
This is Karen. I'd like to thank Bryan Excavating for doing a good job on that contract, and being so diligent to it. And also like to thank city engineering for helping with obtain that grant and seeing
Absolutely, you're welcome.
all your work up there.
Any other
Are you still
questions?
looking for a motion, Dick?
I'm sorry, sir?
Are you still looking for a motion to approve the resolution?
Yes, sir.
I move that we approve resolution number 57.
I'll second.
Annette, I'll second it. Tom?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Annette? Yes. Karen?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Okay, next on the agenda will be another resolution. If you could number and read, Lori.
Resolution number 38, 2020, authorizing a request to Bryan City Council to decrease appropriations from the 2020 electric department budgets.
Dawn, would you like to address that, please?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I trusted that before we began, but apparently something happened. Okay, so I'm just gonna run through a quick update here. If you have any questions, please stop me at any time. But this decrease in appropriations is for the electric fund. And this slide might look familiar as we've gone through this a couple times. Currently, the unencumbered balance for the electric fund and the operating fund is about $6.6 million. And in the capital improvement fund, we have just over $1 million. Currently on revenues, we are collecting on average about 1.5, and we are budgeted to collect 1.7 per month. As well as expenses, we've been expending around 1.4 on average, but we're budgeted to spend much higher than that at 1.8. So overall, the electric fund on average has been collecting about 10% below the anticipated revenue. But we also have been expending about 20% on average lower than what we were anticipating per month. We did believe that we would have some deficit spending due to capital projects this year. Slide 3. So this is a update on our electric total cash comparison for 2018, 2019, and 2020. 2020 is the yellow. We are trending down, which is due to capital projects that we have committed to, as well as the decrease in revenue that's needed to maintain our operations. So the downward trend is something that we were already anticipating at the beginning of the year, but the COVID pandemic has accelerated that. Sorry, I wasn't expecting my phone to ring. BMU since early May has been working with Salsbury and Associates to establish a COVID-19 demand and revenue loss model with the intention of trying to reestablish our capital our capital funding mechanism. So Salsbury and Associates, during our last call, told Nate and I that Bryan is impacted far greater than many of the communities that they work with in the 5-state region, as far as the original forecasted sales and the decline in sales that has occurred through September. So on the first line, the original 2020 forecast that we utilized to develop the 2020 electric budget, we anticipated selling about 192 million kilowatt hours this year and collecting a total across all of our rate classes of 19.8. So currently we are anticipating only collecting about or billing about 17.8, which is just shy of $2 million less than what we had anticipated, but the AMP TEA forecast shows us closer to a $2.5 million difference. As far as trying to forecast exactly how this is going to continue to impact us, since we are in October and we have a full quarter to go, the projections are based on information that we have currently. We have about a 6-month baseline, beginning with the March shutdown and moving forward. But there are variables in the forecast that we are not able to control. Such as how things will go for our industrial commercial sales and customers, and if the COVID resurgence occurs like health officials are forecasting. So back in July, and then again in mid-September, I came to the board and we discussed financials and kind of what we were looking at. And we, at that time, knew we were probably going to have to do a budget amendment, but we were really hoping for the best. So that is what this, next slide please, that is what this request is for. Is to do a budget amendment to balance our expenses with our revenues. This is just a slide that shows how the sales this year are in relation to 2017, 2018, and 2019. We are down, but what we are experiencing is not anything many other communities, and the electric grid itself as a whole is down. So we're not experiencing anything out of the ordinary. What's out of ordinary is the percentage in which we're being impacted by. The U.S. as a whole has seen anywhere from 9 to 13%, and Bryan, we've been anywhere from 18 to 22%. So, next slide, please. So, With this decrease in appropriations request, I would like to thank the BMU superintendents and employees for their part in lowering our expenses. If they wouldn't have done the job that they did in lowering their expenses to help offset this revenue loss that we've been experiencing, we would probably be having to ask for a larger change. So kudos to them. And also with that, in order to get us to this place, we've done multiple things as far as expense reduction, which includes capital projects being placed on hold or being put out into 2021. We didn't fill vacant positions and some positions in the succession plan. We limited part-time work. And we participated in the Shared Work Ohio plan to reduce salaries anywhere between 20 and 50% for a period of time. So we took the most conservative, multi-layered approach that we could, and I believe that it was Dick that said, at the end of this, you will know if we have done enough or if we haven't. So here we are at the end with the request, at the end for 2020, with the request to decrease appropriations. For the 501 operating fund, we're making a request to decrease the revenue by 1.5 million with the corresponding decrease in the expenses is 1.5 million. In the 515 electric capital fund, we're asking for a decrease in anticipated revenue of 1.3 million, as well as a corresponding decrease in appropriations of 1.3 million. Are there any questions?
I'd like to thank all the superintendents for trimming what they could. That made a difference. I know it's kind of painful sometimes, but just who would ever anticipated this was going to happen? It is what it is. Are there any questions or comments for Dawn? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 38.
At this time, I will look for the authorization to approve resolution number 38.
This is Annette, I'll second it. Tom?
Yes.
Ann? Yes. Dick?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is another resolution. Could you please number and read, Lori?
Resolution number 39, 2020, extending the temporary revision to the Bryan municipal utility policies allowing a 48-hour notice for disconnection.
Dawn, would you like to address that?
Sorry. Yes. First slide, please. To give a quick update, we have talked a lot this year about the Bryan Good Neighbors Fund. But for the folks at home who might not know what we're talking about, we'll run through it fairly quickly. The Bryan Good Neighbors Fund was established by the board in 2005. It's 100% funded by donations from BMU customers, employees, and charitable groups. And it provides emergency assistance to our customers who are experiencing financial hardships and are in danger of having their services disconnected. Okay, Eric. So, in 2019, we assisted 38 families and helped them not to have their services disconnected. From this graph, I really want to point out 2009, 10, and 11. The fund was utilized more in 2009 and 2011, and that was directly impacted from the 2008 recession. I anticipate moving forward that we will see similar numbers in in 20 and 21. So, with that being said, Eric, next slide. You all have reviewed the temporary qualifying criteria, and you have made some changes to our utility policy since the pandemic started in early March. So on October 31st of this month, those temporary changes are anticipated to no longer be active. So what we would like to ask you and officially request today is that we just go ahead and extend the criteria until March 31st of 21. And the changes in criteria that we'd be asking for are the 200% of the poverty level, that the person have a hardship documented circumstance, and we allow our communication services to be as an allowable use with the maximum annual assistance of $500 per household. We also would like to continue to do the 48-hour notice of disconnection. So next slide, please. Currently, we have an available fund balance of around $8,600. We've expended just over $7,800 in assistance since the beginning of the year. We've had 45 requests for assistance, which has enabled 41 households to avoid service disconnection and 4 households to receive assistance with their deposit. So 14 of the 45 happened in the month of September. So what we're seeing is customers, BMU customers are utilizing the fund to help them pay their bills. Next slide, please. We've received 74 donations. Our community and businesses in Bryan have been very generous, and we're super grateful for that. And have raised over $11,000 this year, not including the community movie night, which raised an additional $668. So, next slide, please. There are several ways to donate, and next slide, please. I would also like to remind our customers that if they're having issues or financial difficulty, there are several organizations that can help them and just communicate with us so that we can work with you and help get things back on track. I anticipate that as coronavirus comes into our community and they contact trace and people are isolating away from others, that we will have customers that have income loss. So we are prepared to help them through this fund. So please, if you are having any financial difficulty, please reach out and get assistance. So with that, I kind of touched base on both resolutions. The one resolution that we're asking to change the guidelines through March 31st for the Bryan Good Neighbors Fund, and the other resolution is to in place for the 48-hour notice of disconnection. Are there any questions?
I'd just like to say, we really appreciate the generous donations from the community. It's so appreciated because our fund is very healthy, and we do appreciate everything that the community has stepped up and donated. That's all I have. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
I guess it's been a bad year that we have such a number of people that have to take advantage of something like this, but it's been a good year in the fact that we've been able to raise funds like we have, with generosity of the citizens and the employees, and money that was raised at the movie.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 39 to extend the temporary revision until March of 2021.
This is Karen. I'd like to make a motion that we approve Resolution 39 to extend the revision March 2021.
This is Jim, I'll second.
Karen? Jim?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is another resolution. Could you please number and read, Lori?
Resolution number 40, 2020, extending the temporary modifications to the Bryan Good Neighbors Utility Fund to assist families affected by the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic.
And again, that's just an extension of what Dawn's presentation.
This is Karen again. I'd like to make a motion that we approve Resolution 40 to extend the 48-hour disconnect notification until March of 2021.
And I will second.
Karen?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is a request to hire a part-time video department employee. Jackie, would you like to address that, please?
Yes, thank you. At this time, we are requesting that we rehire Shiana Whitman as a temporary part-time labor. This will not add to the budget. It just provides the BMU video department another employee to schedule and work the upcoming events that we have. Thank you.
But again, she was here before, correct? She worked for Eric before.
Yes, sir.
Yes, correct.
Any questions or comments?
This is Jim, I'll make a motion we approve.
This is Adrian and I'll second it.
Jim?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is a motion to accept the retirement of a water superintendent. It's gonna be a tough one. Nate?
Yeah, we'd like to do a little short presentation here. Norm Eckler put in a letter for retirement after 35 years. So we're gonna show some pictures up here, and I'm gonna kind of discuss a little bit of Norm's history with the utility. Norm's career began August 19th, 1985 as an entry-level temporary laborer. He who performed custodial duties, groundskeeping, office cleaning, meter reading his first year. From 1987 to 1984, Norm served in the engineering department. He drew electric and water utility plans on a drafting board, and then was instrumental in the transition to a computer-aided drafting and design system in 1990. Some of the major projects Norm was involved with during this time in engineering were the design plans for the Curtin Substation, Bryan Industrial Park off of Wilson Street. In 1994, Norm was promoted to the water superintendent. He has now served in that position for 26 years. Through these years, Norm has planned and replaced troublesome water mains around the original footprint of Bryan, while expanding new mains into new housing subdivisions, commercial developments, and 2 industrial parks. Probably well over 20 miles of old water main dating back to the 1892 through the 20s have been replaced under Norm's direction. Some of these memorable projects include installing water main under the railroad tracks to the north neighborhoods of Bryan, the removal of the last 2 fire hydrants installed in 1892, and a 3-year effort to replace old cast iron water main on all 4 sides of the courthouse square. In 1999, the main focus for Norm and the water department was in preparation for Y2K. Replacement of main water treatment plant computers, upgraded software installed to run the water plant control system. This system operates our 7 wells, 3 high service pumps, chemical feed equipment, water levels in elevated towers, also monitored and controlled by this equipment. In 2007, this older control system was upgraded to the new PLC system and automatically senses and controls the flow from the wells through the plant and out to the distribution network. Norm and the water department maintain 7 artesian wells to supply the city with water for its daily needs. Routinely monitoring these wells and flowing tests them annually is critical to keep them operating properly, to keep the public water system in good working order, and to meet the needs of our Bryan customers. 2 water towers are also maintained, inspected, refurbished about every 10 years, both inside and out. Norm assisted the use of BMU's watering model, software using hydraulic analysis. This program aids in selecting pipe sizes for water main improvements, performing an array of flow and pressure analysis, new water mains, improved water distribution, fire protection, reliability, and prepares the city for future growth. Keeping the water system and fire hydrant service reliable helps keep the city's Bryan ISO Class 2 rating, which helps properly insurance rates reasonable for residential, commercial, and industrial fire insurance. Norm also sees the cleaning process of the red sand filter, which occurs about every 5 to 7 years. The red sand filter collects the iron that is removed from the drinking water. This project consists of physically removing and disposing of nearly 40 dump truck loads of iron from the filters. Norm stays up to date of the many changing EPA mandates, rules, and regulations. He's adopted and continues to update our risk management plan related to the safe use and handling of chlorine, which we use for disinfection, and maintain an emergency contingency plan. He oversees the state certified testing lab at the water treatment plant that is used by many in our area. The process for state certification of our water treatment lab started in 1983, and recertification is required every 3 years. Norm has kept this ongoing process successful. Personnel in charge of drinking water systems must certify by the Ohio EPA. All department employees keep up the educational requirements to maintain their certification, and Norm has been instrumental in providing training classes to our BMU team and others in the region to help prepare them for their individual certification tests administered by the Ohio EPA. A wellhead protection plan for the city was developed under his leadership to protect public health and our drinking water supply. The first annual water quality report detailing the components of our drinking water was also first published in 1999 under Norm. And a promotional bottling of our very own Fountain City water was completed in 1998. Norm was also part of a team that helped put together this solicitation to the U.S. EPA for a sole source aquifer designation to develop protective strategies, raise awareness of the importance of our groundwater resources known as the Vishendo Aquifer. Protecting our groundwater source of drinking water has always been a focus of Norm and our water department. A computer model of our underground aquifer was completed to better understand the characteristics of the flow of the water to our wells. The city purchased land and test wells were drilled and studied for the possibility of future well field to assure continuous supply of safe drinking water. As a leader for the water department, Norm is a fair manager who believes in his team's success. Norm is quoted in his retirement letter as saying, "I leave with the utmost respect and confidence in the staff that remains. They are superb people. They are the ones that keep the water flowing and safe. They're knowledgeable, dedicated, and just the greatest staff a manager could hope for. They make the department and they make me look good." Most of us hope that we can make a difference for future generations. Norm has satisfied that in his 35 years at Bryan Municipal Utilities. And his efforts will continue to have long-lasting benefits for generations to come. Thank you, Norm, for all you have accomplished and done for Bryan, all that you have taught me over the years, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Long time. I enjoy going over seeing those pictures, Norm, when you were so young.
Yeah.
But, wish you absolute nothing but the best, brother. You've been a dedicated employee, and I know I'll speak for the board. Utilities always appreciated that.
We're losing one of the good ones. I know that. I remember from my years working at the utility, Norm started not long after I did. So I kind of remember the days. It's been a long time ago, but I kind of remember the days when Norm started. And he's one of the ones you can honestly say worked his way up. Nothing was given to him. As a matter of fact, as I recall, he played a major part in constructing the boardroom where Dick and Nate are sitting right now, and also the offices up front where our managers sit. Spent a lot of time and weekends, giving of himself, using his carpentry skills to do that. And I also know that Norm was always willing to help water department employees whenever they needed help to get their water certifications. I heard that quite often, that was something he was good at. So yeah, Norm, we're gonna miss you. You were everything you got.
Thank you, Jim.
Come on, Karen, you gotta have something to say.
It was good working with you Norm, through the years. Yes, you're surely going to be missed. You've got a lot of good common sense. You think things through thoroughly, and you've been a big asset to the whole utility. You've taken it step by step through all the possible things that the EPA has put forward. You've been right there, and you've kept up with everything. You're right in line. You've just been very good at what you do. You knew the job, you knew what it required, and you did it. So you performed so well. I wish you nothing but the best going forward. Congratulations, and you will be missed. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Karen. It's been a good 35 years. It's my turn now to relax a little bit, I think, and we've got some great people that are going to be around for a long time. They've got great potential.
Now you need to hop on your motorcycle, Norm, and get the hell out of here.
If it's above 50 in November, I might just do that.
We'd like to present you with this token of our appreciation, Dick and I would, in behalf of the utilities. You can go ahead and grab it if you'd like, Warren. Just kind of hold it.
This?
Yep. Careful, she's heavy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, ain't that plastic stuff. So we appreciate everything you've done for the utility.
Thank you.
We miss you.
Yeah, wish you nothing but the best, my friend.
Thank you.
Please enjoy it.
Enjoy your retirement, Norm, you deserve it.
Thank you. I'll miss y'all.
Congratulations, Norm.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Annette.
Norm.
Thanks, Tom. You've all been family, so I'll be around. I won't be far
Oh,
away.
yeah.
Thank you again.
Thanks, Norm. Boy, that was a short 35 years, wasn't it?
It was. Days are long, but years were fast.
Yeah, yeah. Well, don't be a stranger. I'm sure you won't. Okay. Next on the agenda, I'll entertain a motion to pay bills.
Motion to accept.
I'm sorry.
Is there a motion to accept?
A motion to accept is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't let it
Well,
go.
what if we don't? We can make a mistake.
Bryan?
I'm sorry, Lord. I'll entertain a motion with regret to accept Norm's retirement, to retire.
I will, with absolute regret, make a motion that we approve.
And I will second.
Jim?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes, with congratulations and sadness to see him go. Oh,
Annette? Yes.
Thank you all. Okay, next on the agenda is I'll entertain a motion to pay the bills.
this is Karen, I'll make the
Go
bills.
ahead. You want me to go ahead? Where are we? How move that we pay the bills?
Karen?
Yes.
Tom? Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Annette? Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is comments from BPA and staff. Let's start with the mayor.
No, sir, but thank you. I do wish Norm the best, and I'm sure after your short trip, we'll see you back here, and I look forward to it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Rhonda?
Thank you. I just wanted to let you know that I did attend the APPA Legal and Regulatory Conference this week. It was a little different, having 2 days in front of the computer instead of being with everyone. And as you can imagine, almost every topic surrounded the COVID issues and how other utilities were dealing with them. And you can rest assured that you are right in line with how everyone has handled things and treating things and the extension of the disconnects and all of it. So it was at least good to know that we were all in the same boat. Thank you for letting me attend that conference.
Thank you, Rhonda. Jackie, how about you?
Yes, thank you. I want to wish Norm well. And with that being said, I also need to request to post the water superintendent position so we can start moving forward with trying to replace Norm and his skill sets.
Hey, thank you. Laura?
Yeah, so if I can have, but wait, Dick?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
need a motion to be able to do that, to post his position, please.
Oh, okay. I'll entertain a motion to, for Jackie to post that position for the water superintendent to replace Norm.
This is Karen. I'd like to make a motion to have Jackie place that ad for the new water superintendent position.
This is Tom, I'll second.
Karen,
Yes.
Tom, Dick,
Yes.
Annette? Yes. Jim?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that all you had, Jack? Okay. Thank you.
Yes, that's it.
How about you, Lori?
I would just like to extend my congratulations to Norm. He's been absolutely wonderful to work with. Great superintendent.
Thank you, Lori.
You bet.
Mr. Wheelan?
Echo everyone else's comments on Norm. Norm and I were reminiscing the other day on how long ago it was that we met. And I believe it was in the early to mid 90s when I worked at Bell Engineering. So we had a nice little conversation about that. But Norm, I wish you well. And to all the BPA members, thanks for having me as part of your team. Anything else I can do, let me know.
Thank you, Brian.
And thank you, Brian. Nate?
Yeah, I'd just like to say again to Norm, he's gonna be missed around here. I've worked with him my whole career, and I learned a lot from him, so it's gonna be sad to see him go, but I'm also happy for him to be able to get out there and enjoy the things that everybody worked so hard for, to get to that age of retirement, so congratulations. I'd also like to thank everybody, and I know we already kind of run this into the ground a little bit, but I'm really happy about Public Power Week and the movie night. And we talked about the Good Neighbors Fund and all the good things we're doing, raising money. So we were able to raise well over $668, and we had 65 to 70 vehicles there. And I want to thank everybody that, played a part in raising that money and donating their time. And I thought it was a great time. I took my grandkids out there, and we had a good time. So I just wanted to bring that up, that I thought that was a very good public event, so I enjoyed it. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Nate. Dawn?
I would like to say congratulations to Norm and thank you for everything that you've done, not only for the utility and the community, but for everything that you have taught us, including me. You've taught me a lot. And I hope you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and that the next chapter of your life, it includes the phrase, living your best life. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Okay, Eric, would you have anything?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, how about you, Mr. Salsbury?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to thank the staff for everything they did to help us keep the budget under control. And Norm, all the best to you, buddy. I mean that. That's all I got.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay, Jim, thank you. Annette?
I would also like to give a huge thank you to everyone that contributed to the Good Neighbor Fund. Norm, I wish you everything that the best of everything retirement has to offer. And like Dawn said, it's living your best life starts now. And also a huge shout out, thank you, kudos to all of the BMU staff for being diligent in reducing the 2020 budget. I know that takes a lot of looking into and thinking out and thinking forward, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Annette.
Thank you.
Mr. Sprow?
Well, being last, everything's pretty much been said, so again, thanks to the people who get to our Good Neighbors Fund. Seems like it's really been, this year, a challenge for everybody that the people have stepped up and have really supported the Good Neighbors Fund in 2020. We hope that continues in 2021. And again, for Norm, congratulations. I know I've only known you about 5 years when I started on the board, and I had a lot of questions. I'd come into your office. You always take time to answer the questions, and I appreciate that, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Tom.
Karen?
Yes, I want to reiterate what everybody else said, but I'm going to say it anyway. And thank the electric department, especially for meeting the reductions that occurred due to the COVID that happened and being patient with everything throughout the year, and everyone else who helped the whole utility throughout this time period and will have to going forward, since there is an increase, so the news said. Want to welcome Shiana Whitman back. Glad to have her back. And movie night was great, and I'm glad everyone in the public came, enjoyed the movies, and donated, bless their hearts. And Norm, wish nothing but the best going forward. I hope you can relax, have some fun. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
I guess everybody said everything I was going to say. But again, we really, really appreciate the generous donations to the Good Neighbors Fund. It's very much appreciated. And Norm, I wish you nothing but the best, my friend. I want you to be,
Thanks, Dick.
I want you to be where I'm at and be part of living a dream. So enjoy your retirement. And I hope you live to be 100, brother.
Yeah. Thank you, Dick.
Okay, you're welcome.
Much, everybody.
Next, we'll be going into executive session to discuss imminent litigation. We've all been provided with the link, and we'll see you there.